Okay, group one, let's start.
Good day everyone. Today we will be presenting our group assignment. The SDGs that we chose is SDG 9, Industry, Innovation and Infrastructure. Our group member consists of 5 members, which is me, Kylie. I'm Rachel. I'm Phil.
I'm Cynthia.
I'm Felicia. So now I will start with our SDG goal and the main issue. SDG 9 focuses on building resilient infrastructure, promoting sustainable industrialization, and fostering innovation. So our main global issue is digital transformation and unequal access to technology and infrastructure, and it can be explained by the theory of digital divide theory. The main issue caused by geographical inequality, wealth gap, and technology disparity. As a result, the region that have better infrastructure will attract more investment, while the less developed region will be struggle to catch up. So this will lead to lower productivity, innovation slowdown, and growing gaps between the developed states and the less developed states. In Malaysia, most of the digital economy contribute to the GDP, and however it distributed unevenly. Penang and Kelantan provide a good comparison as they show different level of progress in achieving SDG 9. To address this, there are 3 policies. First one is My Digital. My Digital provide transform Malaysia into digital-driven, high-income nation. The second policy is Jendela. Jendela is broaden network reach with high speed, so they provide high-quality Wi-Fi to the rural areas. The third policy is National 4th Industrial Revolution Policy. It promotes advanced technology like AI, big data, and automation. Although these policies are implemented nationwide, Penang has achieved better due to its stronger digital structure and skillful workforce. However, Kelantan face greater geographical factors and slower digital adoption. However, we think that government policy these policies are government policy. So, like the government have the greater responsibility in ensuring less developed states like Kelantan receive sufficient support to achieve SDG 9. However, they give allocation fund based on their project approved and economic priorities. For example, based on the report from 2025, the allocation development fund in Penang is RM 7.8 billion, whereas Kelantan is RM 3.19 billion. So it shows that like Kelantan has limited fund to upgrade their facilities.
It's because of Kelantan less projects only.
Yeah, so like their infrastructure also like very less. They need extra fund to upgrade their infrastructure so that they can attract investment. So now I will pass to Rachel and Cynthia to present on their parts.
Okay, so now I will present about the stakeholders level, and I will separate this part into 3 sections because SDG 9 is focused on industry, innovation, and infrastructure. And for industry, it has a strong ESG industry and ecosystem which attract foreign investment. And manufacturing is also one of the state's main economic sector, creating jobs and support export growth. And next is innovation. We then encourage the adoption of Industry 4.0, and the state also promote collaboration between university, industry, and the government while focusing on digitalization and knowledge-based industry. And last is infrastructure, and then has a industrial park and manufacturing facility that support business operation and export. And in addition, the planned LRT project will improve connectivity and reduce traffic congestion. Next, I'll pass to Rachel.
Next, I'm representing on Kelantan state level policies to support the SDG plan. So same as the Penang policy, I also separate them into 3 parts. So the first one is actually one of the examples of Kelantan industry policy is Invest Kelantan. So this policy is planning to promote more of the domestic and foreign investments into Kelantan. So with the success of these investments, it helps to strengthen Kelantan's manufacturing and industrial sectors, which will create more job opportunities, attract businesses, and also contribute more to the state's economic growth. And the next one is innovation. So one of the innovation policy is SME and entrepreneurship support, which is K-Start. So this K-Start program provides financial support to youth entrepreneurship and also SMEs. It encourages people to start businesses, develop innovative ideas, and also improve competitiveness of local enterprises. So in the long term, this will help build a stronger entrepreneur ecosystem in the Kelantan. And lastly is infrastructure. So in 2025, the government allocated around 146.22 million of infrastructure funds to Kelantan. So this includes the housing development and also improvements to the public facilities. So with better infrastructure, it improves the connectivity and also supports business activities and also creates more better environment for long-term economic development. And next, I'll pass back to Sinja.
Right, to previous slide just now, Kelantan. Yeah, talk about the infrastructure. As we know that in Malaysia, Kelantan, Terengganu, every year they are facing the issues of water flood. So since that they are having investment this 146 something millions of ringgit into the development of infrastructure, while you are doing the research, did they mention anything about how are they going to mitigate the risk of facing a higher flood?
Based on my research, it's mainly on housing development from the article I read. It's from the news.
But they
said
never
this is
mentioned
from-
anything about which is related to the flood mitigation. Okay, right.
So now I'll talk about the main municipal level policy. And first is industry. And that is mainly focused on MBBB. Then MBBB support business through licensing, zoning and development approval. And this policy help attract investment and encourage business growth. And next is innovation. Through the Penang STEM program, the municipality promotes AI, coding, and technical skills to develop talent for industry development. And lastly is infrastructure. MBBB is responsible for road maintenance and waste management and urban planning. So this service help create a better environment for business and local communities.
Okay, next moving on to Kelantan's municipal level policies. So compared to Penang, Kelantan is currently just starting to be rolling to digital transformation. So in industry, there is ECO4214 manufacturing investment. So this investment is planning to facilitate manufacturing investments in sectors such as renewable energy, automotive and industrial services. So these investments create more employment opportunities and also help to expand Kelantan's industrial base. And the next one is innovation. So one of the policy is Paksi Kelantan platform. So this platform actually provides like the STEM workshops and also resources to the people in Kelantan. As I mentioned just now, they are just moving into digital transformation currently. So this may be able to help develop more skilled workforce and also supports innovation within the local economy. And lastly is infrastructure. So ECRTC also has the development initiative. So this one includes like the transport connectivity and also industrial facilities. So with better infrastructure, it reduces the transportation cost and also it improves the market accessibility, which in the long term it attracts more investments into the Kelantan state. And that's all from my part. I'll pass it to Sharon to do the comparison.
Yeah, based on the national stage and policy presented earlier, here, this section compares the policy outcome in Penang and Kelantan. So although both states support SDG 9, but they achieve different outcomes because of the differences in the industrial developments, governance, and in digital infrastructure. So as shown in the tables, Penang achieve a stronger economic impact by attracting more high-value investments and creating more skill jobs through in-methods in the industrial ecosystem. In contrast, Kelantan focus on the SME and regional developments, while this strengthen the local economic participation. In developing industrial base result in the lower industrial returns. So these differences are also reflected in the governance. Penang strong collaboration between the state governments, industries, and universities enable more effective policy implementations. Whereas Kelantan rely more on the federal support, so which leading to the different implementation ways. So regarding the sustainability, Penang established innovation ecosystem, which make it better to prepare for long-term growth. While the Kelantan still require continuous investments in the infrastructure, technology, or even the human capital to strengthen its future professionals. So moving to the second slide, which is the compare the municipal policy outcome. Penang has stronger innovation capacity and more advanced urban infrastructures. So while Kelantan is still improving its digital readiness and transport connectivities to support the future development. So overall, the policy outcomes are not equally distributed. From a fairness perspective, the benefit of the digital transformations are concentrated more in Penang. So although both states promote the inclusive developments, SME, rural communities, and lower skilled workers still face barriers in accessing the digital opportunity, especially in Kelantan. So this also highlights the trade-off between the economy, efficiency, and social responsibility. While Penang achieves stronger economic performance, Kelantan places greater emphasis on the regional developments despite they have lower economic returns. So finally, this comparison shows that unequal access to technology and infrastructures continue to create regional disparities, so which may slow down nations to progress toward achieving the SDG. I'll pass to Felicia for the recommendation.
Next, moving on to the recommendations. So from the perspective from Penang, so at the national level, we are going to recommend to introducing a tier digital development framework under My Digital. So our recommendation is not to replace My Digital, but to improve its implementation. So instead of applying the same strategy to every state, so applying the different states should be applying different strategy because they have having according to their different level of the digital readiness. So for example, Penang should continue focusing on AI, semiconductor innovation, digital skill, and also the industry 4.0, while Kelantan should be prioritized in the broadband expansion, SME digitalization, and also the digital skills. So according to my research, the broadband coverage in Kelantan outside of Kota Baru is still relatively limited. So this recommendation is aimed to reduce the digital inequalities. So next will be the state level. We are going to recommend to establish an advanced semiconductor talent ecosystem because now currently in Penang we didn't lack of the factory but we lack the high skilled talent. So we recommend the state government to develop the high skilled talent, which also align with the Penang Industry 4.0 policy, which to develop the SEM talent. And next will be the municipal level. We recommend to developing a smart industrial city. So MDP can improve urban efficiency through AI, smart traffic management, and digital logistics to improve overall efficiency. And now moving on to the recommendation from the Kelantan's perspective. At the national level, we recommend to introducing progress-based digital grants. So instead of just simply provide funds, we introduce to provide the extra incentive based on the result of every state. So this is because it is very essential to let the state government having the motivated to move forward to the digitalization. And next, moving on to the state. So the state recommend to developing an industry cluster development, and this is supported by the agglomeration effects theory, which means that this is focused on only one strategic industry first. Once this strategy becomes successful, it will literally
via talent investment and so on. So Penang is a good example as the E&E industry did not develop overnight. Intel first established its operation in Penang. After that, when Intel expanded, still then supplier will follow, followed by the skill talent, followed by the future investment. Next, moving on to the municipal level. So we recommend to creating community digital transformation hub. So providing technology alone is not enough if people do not know how to use the technology. Therefore, local authorities should establish community hubs that offer AI course, coding program, e-commerce, and so on. And this will allow residents to become familiar with the technology in their daily life, helping them to improve digital capability and reduce inequality. That's all from our slide. Thank you.
Very good. Sorry for taking up your time. Your presentation so that you won't take up your time. Can you go back to the slides under Kelantan just now? Center presented. No. Penang, under center. Next one. This one. Under the infrastructure, MBBB managed roads. I just wanted to double confirm. The roads wasn't managed by JKR, or MBBB have the right to repair, or we need to have MBBB approval, then only can go for repairing, or how? I just want to have a double confirm. From my understanding, no matter which state, when they want to build a new road or want to build something, they need to go for project tender and get approved from JKR. So that's why sometimes the roads, there's a band and then you can see they are printed JKR. JKR is Jabatan Jaya Raya, something like that. So you can take a little bit of time to do some checking for confirmation. We proceed to the next question. And go to the next, the slides of Felicia's presenting one. Under Kelantan. Okay. I'm very interested in your recommendation of this progress-based digital grants. Up to date now in Kelantan, what is the digitalization coverage? How was the digitalization, or how well the Kelantan people had approached, or they are approached by getting online, a better network, or how is the coverage now?
I did search for the broadband coverage only, and
Okay.
I haven't searched on it.
Okay. Alright, then with that, we proceed to the next question here. Not to just asking you, other than answer as well. Okay. Same. Progression phase. You recommend this one? Do you have any actual execution plan? Because progression phase digital grants, when you have this word progress phase, means that you complete part A, I give you something, you complete part C, I give you something, then you complete by stages lah. So what is your actual recommendation on how you wanted to execute this plan? Means how are you going to decide? By when I give you extra, by when I give you incentive, by when I give you this?
From my view, I think the government should create a KPI, but here is some risk because the KPI need to create with the, because every state having a different population size, different economic capacity, so the government need to creating a KPI based on the state, and maybe they do the research on the Kelantan population size, economy and capacity, and so on, and they creating a KPI. When Kelantan hit this KPI, then we'll continue providing the extra incentive.
Okay, good. Last one, others can answer as well. This is say industry cluster development. So, what and which industry you strongly recommend to go with Kelantan first?
I think should be focus on halal food first.
Halal food?
Yeah.
Halal food? Kelantan categorized as relatively very Islamic, not to say relatively Malaysia is Islamic country, you know. Whole Malaysia is selling halal food. That's why halal food, this industry need to go to Kelantan. It's where the whole Malaysia is, actually we are producing halal food. This is one of the main points that we can attract a lot of worldwide Muslim students come to Malaysia to study, especially we wanted to attract, because China has the largest Muslim population in the world. So we are trying our best to see whether we can attract more of them coming to here. Previously it's Middle East, but now Middle East people are getting more wealthy. They can easily go to some others more developed country, but still got a big, quite a big portion of them love to come to Malaysia because of we are Islamic country. We can get halal food anywhere. That's why halal food doesn't need to go into Kelantan.
Maybe we can develop it like more towards tourism.
Okay.
Like the Muslim people to come to their travel to their state so that they can increase their income.
The tourism industry, so they need to. So your recommendation is to develop their tourism industry. From there, to bring in more human traffics into Kelantan. Then it brings up. And why I'm the one that's telling you all what Samson bring up the.
Job opportunity for the nations.
Okay, alright. Hey, go back to the first question just now. How is it? This MBPP or JKR?
Yes, it is responsible for the small road like small potholes and urban market and also street light.
Okay.
API is for the daily local road.
Okay. Alright, good. Thank you very much.
Wait, I got question to ask. Hold on. Okay, so inside your this slide, right? Is there you mentioned about this? You know what is a progress-based digital grant, right? You know what that's right. So you propose for this progress-based digital grant for Kelantan. So what is the risk do you see with this funding to progress?
On the risk.
Yeah, what's the risk? And could it be actually to widen the gaps between the Kelantan and also the Penang?
I think the risk will be the state between the state having the conflict, because if the government didn't specifically say which state is underdeveloped, which state is under advanced, so when allocating the funds will be something conflict. So as I mentioned before, the government need to creating fair and also transparent KPI to make sure when they allocating the funds is very fair.
Okay. My last question is, should Malaysia prioritize to pushing this leading state like the Penang, right, or Selangor, even further ahead? Means that we would allocate more resources for this developed state, or we should closing the gap, right, with this lagging state like this Kelantan. So with the limited resources, right, which will serve the SDG targets better. So which one you prefer? We should prioritize to allocate more resources for the developed state, or we should allocate more resources for the lagging state like this Kelantan. Which one can make the SDG 9 become better?
I think we invest more in Kelantan to close the gap, because seems like now Penang already considered as advanced, so everyone would prefer to work in Penang, and maybe the student or the worker at Kelantan don't have the job opportunity. They might want to prefer to work at Penang or KL or either Johor, and the Kelantan will really to still stay behind because it's that haven't developed yet. So I think we'll be prefer more on invest to Kelantan to close the gap and every state to grow together to hit this SDG 9.
Is it gone?
No, I'm good.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you. Now, two.